Welcome here to the lovely shores of South Beach. Today, we have a head-to-head planned between the 911 GT3 RS and the McLaren 570S. Which is the better car? I don't know yet. We're gonna find out together in this episode of Head to Head. So right now, we're in the cheaper of the two, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Now this car has some pretty good stats. And let's start with the acceleration, which it says 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. I really haven't tested that, but it's pretty good accelerating. Handling is decent, but I was going fairly fast. But let's test the 0 to 60. We'll do it in 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Yep, it does. I was counting in my mind. But yeah, this car, what might surprise you is that it can't hit 200 miles per hour. It goes 193, but you will be able to hit 200 for the most part. You'll just keep ricocheting between 190 and 200. It's very odd. The brakes are decent on this car. I wouldn't say they're great, but I wouldn't say they're good either. Here, I'll try to get it at full speed. Oh yeah, fun fact, in case you didn't notice, this car used to actually have a secondary color that said GT3 RS on the sides, but now it doesn't have it. Oh, we're already at full speed. Yeah, the brakes, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. They work. And that's what really matters. But yeah, this car, it's got some decent handling here. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great car though. It's fun. That I'm not getting wrong. It's a fun and it looks really nice. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's like the best car out of the two, because I haven't really tested the 570S yet. But yeah, this car, I mean, it's got some turns. I mean, it's very slidey. You can slide it around with the handbrake. So if you want to drift stuff around, this car is the car to go for. It's a fairly good car with handling too. I mean, it should, because the GT3 RS is the track variant of the 911. Or is that the GT2? Well, they're both kind of track variants. So yeah, what would I say about the 911 GT3 RS? Say all around a good car. It does lack the speed though. Let's move on to the 570S. Now we're in the more expensive car, the McLaren 570S. And let me just start by saying this acceleration, I think it's also the same as the 911 GT3 RS, but it does have fairly good acceleration. Brakes are definitely better. And this car is actually pretty good at turning. I don't need to slow down for these turns. I mean, they're not very sharp, but like brake test, yeah, the brakes are definitely worse. That, I'll say that. But it's faster. It can maintain like a solid 210. I mean, it's really supposed to just maintain like 206, which it does, but it will reach 212. And yeah, with the brakes, this car does handle very well. It's a very balanced car, and that's a good thing. It's also very good at accelerating, same as the 911 GT3 RS in terms of acceleration. It's also 2,000 more than the 911. But I honestly think those 2 more G's are worth it. This car just seems very smooth. It's very good at making around these turns. I didn't even have to brake for them. And there's the 911, the car that's most likely losing this head-to-head. But yeah, this car really is a solid car. It really is solid. Now, it's time to go over who won the head-to-head and why they won. So, who won this head-to-head? Like I already said, the McLaren 570S did. Why, you ask? It accelerates just as good as the 911. It seems to handle better than the 911. It's got a better speed. Only thing worse about it is the braking. But really, no one's gonna care about braking, even though it is important to be able to slow down. You can also just use the handbrake to slow yourself down. So really, the 911 GT3 RS is completely inferior to the 570S. Although if you are a Porsche fan, there is another 911, more expensive than the 570S and just as fast. I don't have that 911, but I'm pretty sure it is good. It's the 911 Turbo S. If you are a Porsche fan, I recommend picking that up over the GT3 RS. Just because the GT3 RS is slower than the 570S, harder to drive in my opinion, and all around just inferior. Thanks for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.